Hey friends, before you go on that green card, things are starting to get really interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green card? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, Hey there, friends. Now is the time for immigration. Now is the time for immigration. Come on in, join today's live broadcast. We're going to talk about some immigration news. Jump on in and say freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. I see that Dubai is in the house. How is it possible that Dubai is one of the first to be in the house on this Friday afternoon, September 13th, guys? I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York. Hey there, Liz. Working with clients nationwide at McBean Law, where we believe that now is the time for immigration. So as a family, as you're coming on in, type in freedom now, freedom now. Hope you're doing terrific. We had disappointing news this week, right, in the world of immigration on multiple levels. We're going to talk about a couple of those issues in this one. Hey there, Noah. Noah, good to see you. Melissa, thank you. Freedom now. Hey there, Robin from the Gambia. Thank you for being here. Dallas, Texas is in the house as well. Chicago is in the house. U.S. Virgin Islands, Yvette, nice to have you again. Thank you so much. For those of you who have immigration problems, okay, or have a family member with an immigration problem or a coworker, certainly have those individuals or you reach out to us at McBean Law. Our contact information is scrolling below. You may reach out to us at 888-462-4006 or go to McBeanLaw.com where you'll see our success stories and also the form to contact us. Excellent. I see that Michael from Maryland is here. Paul, nice to have you from Detroit, Michigan. Awesome. Hey there, Fritz. Nice to see you. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Let's talk about the first thing, guys. And this is not a Q&A session. I will have a Q&A session on Monday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, so you may have your immigration question answered during that time if I'm able to get to it. I will also do more lives on social media, so follow me on TikTok and also on Instagram. Thank you, guys. Atlanta is definitely in the house as usual. Good to see you guys. Now, let's talk about the first news, guys, and this is about the parole in place, PIP, as I've been calling it, or PIP, as other lawyers traditionally call it, keeping families together. Disappointing news this week. The first news that I'm going to touch on, though, related to keeping families together, is the fact that, first of all, on the district court level, we have two things happening, okay? Two things happening. There is the district court litigation led by those 16 states that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. Those states have filed to stop this program in its entirety. They want it to go away. And the DHS has pushed back strongly and said they don't have standing, they cannot prove injury, this is ridiculous, let this go away. Very similar to the other parole program that Biden has in place that is bringing foreigners from Cuba, Venezuela, Haiti, and Nicaragua to the United States. Those same Republican states tried to challenge that parole program that's bringing in all these foreigners. And in fact, they brought in about 500,000 foreigners under that other parole program. The states challenged it and they lost the challenge on the district court level, because they could not prove that they have standing. They couldn't prove that these states are going to be harmed by bringing in all of these foreigners from those countries. And so Bloomberg Law, which I did a live session earlier this week, late at night, one night, Bloomberg Law does a nice job of summarizing the fact that under this particular challenge involving keeping families together, the states are facing an uphill battle with trying to prove that they will be financially harmed or injured by this Keeping Families Together program. And as a matter of fact, they don't have a very good case. despite the fact that it is sitting with a conservative judge who is appointed by former President Trump. And so in this article, Bloomberg Law points to the fact that these Republican states have argued that these programs cost the state more money for things like health care and education. However, previous challenges have failed because courts found the states couldn't show real financial harm. For example, a court ruled in the other program that I discussed that the program had actually reduced the cost for some of those states. And so that's the district court level thinking right now. A lot of people are thinking that this isn't going to work for those 16 states. But guys, unfortunately, I don't know if you guys remember me mentioning that there were a group of individuals, immigrants, who tried to intervene in this district court case. They tried to intervene because they said this is directly going to harm us. Whatever decision is going to come out of this litigation led by these 16 states, we're going to be harmed by this. And so therefore, we need to intervene in this litigation, okay? We need to intervene. And the judge said no to it. The judge denied their efforts to intervene. And friends, they then appealed that decision and took it to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And the Fifth Circuit ended up pausing the district court's PIP case. Challengers to Biden's Keeping Families Together parole program offering immigration relief to spouses of U.S. citizens will have to wait longer to argue their case after a federal appeals panel paused the litigation amid an effort to have program beneficiaries added to the lawsuit. And we're going to get into what this pause mean momentarily. But what you should know from the onset is that although the Fifth Circuit has paused the proceedings on the lower court level, the district court level, USCIS is still accepting your applications if you choose to apply. They're still sending out your biometric notices, and they still expect you to show up to your biometric appointment unless you want to reschedule it. The cases that have been approved so far under this parole program can move forward still with their adjustment of status filing if they're eligible for adjustment right now, or they could move forward with a work permit application. And certainly those people, a very small number of people who were approved during that first week of this program, they can move forward. All right. So work with your immigration lawyer on moving forward with your case if it was already approved. Now, back to what happened with the Fifth Circuit, friends. They issued an administrative stay on Wednesday after a coalition for humane immigrant rights and 11 beneficiaries of the Keeping Families Together program appealed their denied motion for intervention to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. And the beneficiaries will argue why they believe the lower court erred by denying them the right to intervene in this case. And AILA, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, puts it this way. They have a nice little summary that they sent us members about this process. And they say here that the Fifth Circuit Court issued an order that froze proceedings in the lower court until they hear the interveners' appeal. The interveners asked that the court decide on their appeal before the hearing next week in the lower court, with or without oral argument. Rather than do that, the Fifth Circuit set a hearing date of October 10th and froze further action in the lower court until that date. And I'm going to take you into the order momentarily. AILA goes on to say, in the meantime, USCIS can continue accepting and processing cases, but it cannot approve cases during this time. So friends, they stayed the Fifth Circuit will have a hearing to consider the arguments that the appeal that the interveners are bringing to them, have brought to them. And the court said, okay, district court, we know that you're on this expedited schedule. We respect the fact that you made the decision to expedite things, and you had your hearing coming up on September 18th, and you have you have this 14-day stay in effect until September 23rd. We respect that. However, our decision here will trump that, and we actually would like for you to pause what you're doing so that we could do what we want to do now and what we need to do as it relates to these interveners. So that's what's going on with that decision this week, and this is the unpublished order that some of you have been circulating on TikTok trying to figure out, what is this about? What does it mean for me? But this is the very short order in which the court says that they're going to have a merits hearing. They're going to meet on October 10th, the Fifth Circuit, to consider the appeal. And the district court has entered an administrative stay, which is expiring September 23rd. And a possible trial. They wanted to hold a possible trial on September 18th. However, we're going to do something. We're going to have a hearing. We're going to ask these parties to submit their briefs to us by September 16th, which is just in 3 days, guys. And they're going to hear argument on the appeal. And accordingly, we administratively stay proceedings in the district court pending a decision on the merits or other order of this court. And again, meaning no criticism of the district court's recognition of the need for prompt resolution. We're still going to do all of this. So that's their position at this time. But again, if you decide that you're going to move forward with your case, that's your decision to make. And certainly you can make that decision with an attorney. But this is the state of affairs right now. It's unclear. Certainly it's unclear how long the Fifth Circuit is going to take to consider these matters. No one knows right now how long it's going to take. And I know that some folks are making arguments on TikTok, hypothesizing about things. And some are saying, oh, this is indefinite. Oh, this is going to take a long time. Guys, we really don't know. The Fifth Circuit certainly said that they respect the fact that the lower court wants to expedite things. So I don't really expect the Fifth Circuit to drag this out for a very long time, because again, this is really about whether these parties have a right to intervene in the litigation or not. Okay. So now, lastly, friends, the third news that I want to share with you before we go today is the fact that states are getting tougher with immigration, and they're enacting all of these immigration laws to really target immigrants. A report by the League of United Latin American Citizens reveals a significant increase in state-level efforts to pass stricter immigration laws under the Biden administration. Since 2020, state lawmakers, particularly Republicans, have proposed, guys, get this, 233 anti-immigrant laws, up from 51 in 2020. And these proposals aim to criminalize unauthorized U.S. entry, challenge sanctuary city policies, and crack down on hiring undocumented workers. Texas leads the pack, of course, with 91 proposals. So these states are trying to take immigration matters into their own hands. And we know, obviously, that traditionally, the way that everything was set up, immigration belongs to the federal government. That's their jurisdiction. But states are really, really pushing back. Yes, they could do things with the sanctuary city policies and whether or not they're going to cooperate with ICE on some local issues, local enforcement issues. Yes, they have the right to do that. But some of the things that they're proposing to do goes really very far to the jurisdiction that belongs to the federal government. So guys, this is what's going on. These are the latest with immigration. Yes, you also heard about the absurd charges this week at the presidential debate, which really, folks are really honed in on the fact that Trump made some absurd statements regarding Haitians. Very offensive things were said. I mean, bizarre, offensive things, not even worth talking about. They didn't even make it to my top 3 today. But if you go to your inbox, you'll see our top 7, and the top 7 includes some of what happened during the presidential debate this week. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, I will be back with you on Monday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for my immigration Q&A hour with half an hour with you, and other times on social media. So definitely follow me on social media. Thanks so much for being with me today, guys, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.